was that spring training? Like, what was different about that year? Because that kind of set you up for a pretty awesome 4 or 5 year run there. I think 4 consecutive All-Star appearances starting in 2007. And then obviously the MVP in 2006. Take us back to that year. Like, what was different for you as you got going in camp, and then obviously throughout a sensational season?
Well, I think my first 2 years were half years. 03, I got somewhere around 100 at bats. It was
Mm-hmm.
just a get your feet wet, come up and join a team that had made the playoffs in
Right.
02 for the first time in a long time. Was trying to make the playoffs again in 03. It was a good group, a young core, like most teams try and build nowadays. And then 04 had a good half season, made the AAA All-Star team, and then came up and had a real good second half, hit some home runs, helped that team down the stretch, and then reality kicked in, as happens to so many players. My first full season, the league adjusted much faster than I could, and struggled. Still had some power, still drove in some runs, but struggled batting average wise, getting on base, all those other things that matter. The league was just more advanced than I was, and I just didn't have the ability to make adjustments. And the same thing kind of started in 06 as well. And
Mm-hmm.
I had a swing that wasn't playing, and I had a struggle to start the year. I wasn't exactly preparing the way I needed to. I had a little sit down with Ron Gardenhire and got to myself in some trouble in Seattle, and then all of a sudden reset that focus in combination with making some swing adjustments. So that year, it actually didn't start off that great. It was a struggle to start, and then finally something clicked. Worked with Joe Vavra, one of the people who had as much influence on my career as anyone else, our hitting coach there in Minnesota, and we decided to make some swing changes. We started to adjust to the strike zone. We started to make some adjustments that you need to make as a major league player if you want to continue to succeed, or you want to just keep riding that shuttle between AAA and the big leagues. And then everything kind of took off from there. I figured out my swing. I figured out my approach. I figured out how to take care of myself off the field and do all the things you need to do to be a big leaguer. And it kind of took off from there.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information from the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick by
Tyler Glasnow is a guy with ace caliber stuff. The only knock on Glass is his injury history. And I think last year, I know last year was the most innings he ever threw at 120. That's a little scary to me.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with Sirius XM 86 and the SXM app.
I'm Frank.
Subscribe and hide.
Because I was told as a manager, minor league manager, now those guys, they can't play golf in the daytime. And that, when I got to the big leagues, that was something that was brought up. But after a year, I stopped it. You know, I had Canseco for 4 years, and he didn't go out and drink. I know people think he was a drinker. No, he was not a drinker. But when I got to Boston, Clemens was a golfer, and I certainly wasn't going to stop Roger Clemens from golfing if that helped him like you're talking about. And he actually helped Canseco because Canseco went golfing with Roger. Roger got under his skin and said, hey, you know, this is something that can keep you from, you know, being out all night and all that. Well, golf in the mornings. And I didn't have a problem with it. I changed, John, is what I'm saying as a manager. I changed my whole philosophy on that because it was just, like you just said, I just learned from old timers that said they can't do that. I didn't know the actual reasons why until I really talked to players, and they said, "Hey, Kevin, it helps me."
Well,
said,
yeah,
great,
yeah. And in fairness, position players couldn't do it.
No, not every
only
day.
On
Yeah,
an off day.
right. Yeah,
and only on an off day. So, you know, us pitchers, we had 5-man rotation, and every standing off day or every standing day on the road, we had a foursome, and we instructed everybody that came that. We said, anyone who joins our rotation, if you don't play golf, you're going to learn. And we taught Jason Marquise and Kevin Millwood and, you know, the like. So it was something we bonded around. And I'll never forget what Greg Maddox told me after about the 8th year. He sits in an interview. He's like, you know, Smoltz taught me how to have fun again. The game can wrap your brain and wrap around you, and says, especially when you're putting up the levels that Maddox did, and the expectation, the game of failures. And if you can't get away from it and get your mind away from it, Now, the interesting scenario became when I was a closer. Now, when I became the closer, that was not thought of as a role that you know, my general manager was not crazy about me playing golf the day that I could close out a game. And I told him, and I talked with Bobby before I became the closer. I said, Bobby, you know my personality. You know what makes me tick. If you think this is a problem, I won't do it. But he goes, no. He says, you know, just be smart about it. So I actually got to play more golf as a closer. And in that year that I started, you know, struggling, of course, my general manager came to me right away and says, do you think this is going to be a problem? And I said, it will not be a problem. He goes, well, how do you say that? I said, well, first of all, I putt about 30 to 32 times around. I'm only hitting the ball less than 14 times with a driver. Everything else is a pitching wedge or less, and I'm shooting around 70 to 75, and I'm not walking the golf course. And if I can't get 3 outs at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, I don't deserve to.
We'll see how that develops in the coming days. Let's check out those starting lineups. Here's Schneider's card for today. As Ben mentioned earlier, a lot of regulars. The top 6, Springer, Bo, Vladdy, Turner, Kiermaier, Varsho, all in their regular spots. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is batting 7th. He's at second base. Eduardo Escobar is at 3rd. He is batting 8th. And Peyton Henry slots in to catch today. He's batting 9th. Danny Jansen has a fever and is on the shelf today, so he draws out. Peyton Henry draws in. Wes Parsons will be on the mound from the Bisons. He'll pitch for the Toronto Blue Jays today. The Phillies lineup is as follows. Kyle Schwarber is DHing. He is batting 1st. Trey Turner batting 2nd. He's at shortstop. Bryce Harper is batting 3rd at first base. Nick Castellanos is in right field batting cleanup. Today is also his 32nd birthday, so happy birthday to Nick. Bryson Stott is batting 5th. He's at second base. Whit Merrifield is batting 6th. He's in left field. Johan Rojas is batting 7th in center. Aramis Garcia is batting 8th. He is catching. And Weston Wilson rounds things out. He is batting 9th, and he is at third base. Before we get started, the first inning is, as always, brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. And don't forget, it's a weekday, so no Jays Talk Classic today. We will have Jays Talk Light after the game to wrap up. The regular editions of Jays Talk are live during the spring on the weekends, and we'll get back to normal after every game once the regular season begins. All right, let's get you down south. Here's Ben Shulman with the call of the game. Jays Phillies at TD Ballpark in Dunedin, Florida.
Thank you so much, Joe. The right-hander Wes Parsons is on the mound right now, a tall righty at 6'5", getting his warm-up pitches in with Peyton Henry. The 31-year-old is in his second year back in affiliated baseball. Joe had mentioned he spent most of last season with the Buffalo Bisons, making 17 starts for Buffalo to a 9-4 record, a 4.5 ERA in just over 81 innings pitched. Parsons also making his first major league appearance in 4 years when he came out to pitch the final day of the season for the Blue Jays when they had already clinched a playoff spot. Parsons is going to face off against Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, and Bryce Harper in this top of the first inning. And defensively for the Blue Jays, Parsons will work with Peyton Henry today. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is at first. We get to see Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at second base for the first time this spring. At short is Bo Bichette. Eduardo Escobar, the veteran, is at third. Dalton Varsho in left, Kevin Kiermaier in center, and George Springer in right. The best defensive outfield per the numbers last year in baseball. Big applause as Kyle Schwarber gets ready to go. Left-handed hitter is just outside the box. Bounces the barrel off of his right toes, and he's ready to go. Parsons into the line, twists and deals, and the first pitch is waved at and missed. Strike one. Time of the first pitch today, 1:08 Eastern. Really nice day. Some concerns about the weather earlier, but not anymore. The 0-1. Missed outside with the fastball, and the count is even. Earlier today, it was a little bit cloudy. There was even some rain. The tarp was on the field for a while before the game. The 1-1. Check swing on a fastball. Appeal to third. No swing. 2 balls and 1 strike. But that's all cleared up. Not a ton of wind either, although the flags, the American and Canadian flags in right center field, blowing toward right center. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Parsons beat him with a fastball again at 95, and it's 2-2. It's 26 Celsius, 78 Fahrenheit, 72% humidity. The 2-2. Just outside, went with another fastball, but missed. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Schwarber, a 30-year-old, a day off of his 31st birthday, asks for time. It's granted by home plate umpire Vic Carapazza. Mark Carlson man's first, DJ Rayburn the umpire at second, and Adam Beck at third. 3-2 pitch. Pop up, left side of the infield, and into the seats. That one hits a railing and bounces back toward the front row. It's still 3-2. It being a matchup of 2 neighboring teams in Clearwater and Dunedin, there's a lot of Phillies red here mixed within the dominant Blue Jays blue around TD Ballpark. 3-2 pitch is a breaking ball inside, ball 4. And Kyle Schwarber, who was near the tops of the majors in hits, or pardon me, not hits, definitely not, in home runs, walks, and strikeouts, starts this game off with a walk, a 197 hitter a year ago. Here's Trey Turner, runner on first, nobody out, top of the first. The pitch. Called strike 1. Turner about to start his second season with the Phillies. First year was an odd one, but turned out pretty well for Trey Turner. The 0-1, swing and a miss. Turner falls behind Wes Parsons, 0-2. Trey Turner's numbers ended up being very strong, but he had a really rough start to his Phillies career. The 0-2. High and tight with the fastball. Turner turns away from it. Trey Turner on August 5th was hitting .236, only had 10 homers, had struck out 115 times. He hit .340 the rest of the year and hit 16 homers in less than 50 games. Here he gets one off the handle, rolled slowly to short. Bichette deep in the hole. Can't make the transfer. Ball pops out of his hand. And that will be an interesting scoring decision. With the speed of Trey Turner, it would have been a tough play. They're going to rule it a base hit because of that. Still, I think a play that the Blue Jays want to make if possible. But instead, it's first and second, no outs for the 2-time National League Most Valuable Player, Bryce Harper. The Phillies' first baseman with a slightly open stance. The first pitch. Parsons starts him off with a strike. That's a challenge pitch from Parsons there. Gave him a fastball on the inside edge. Harper coming off UCL surgery last year, hit near 300. The 0-1, down and in with a breaking ball. 31-year-old only had 21 home runs, although he played 126 games. You could see the power was a little bit down at the beginning of his season coming off the injury. The 1-1, high 2-1. Something that corrected pretty quickly, though, for Bryce Harper. Harper stares out at Parsons, who checks second, delivers home, and the pitch is fouled off. It's 2-2. But Harper, after taking over at first base last year due to injury, has now been permanently moved to first base. No longer a right fielder. 2-2. Ground ball to second. This could be 2. Picked up by Kiner Falefa. Flips to Bichette for 1. Easy throw to first. Double play. Kyle Schwarber moves from second to third, but Wes Parsons gets Harper to roll into a 4-6-3 twin killer. And the Blue Jays now have 2 down with a runner in scoring position. Nick Castellanos coming up for Philadelphia. Show had mentioned it, but a happy 32nd birthday to Castellanos. 32-year-old entering his 3rd season with the Phillies. 11 years in the major leagues before this year, and he's tied up by a high fastball. It's 0-1 on the swing and miss. No score, top of the first inning, Phillies and Blue Jays. Wes Parsons at a set, just at the belt, kicks back and goes home. Another awkward swing. Castellanos there, waving at a breaking ball in on the hands, and it's 0-2. This would be big for Wes Parsons. You never know how many spots could end up opening up due to injuries and other things. And he's facing a tough top four. He misses high on the 0-2 pitch, so now it's 1-2. But if you look back here, even though he's had some trouble, he battled with Kyle Schwarber, who fouled off a pitch before walking. Got an infield single that really would have been an out in a lot of times to Trey Turner, and then got Harper to hit into a double play. Here Castellanos fouls it off, and it's still 1-2. Parsons has had to use a ton of pitches, though. That was his 20th here in the first inning. Blue Jays do have one of the minor league guys over for minor league camp today, Abdiel Mendoza, warming up in the pen. Here's the 1-2. Fouled off again. Could see a good handful of major league relievers here in relief of Wes Parsons. Guys like Trevor Richards, Jordan Romano, potentially pitching today. The 1-2. Breaking ball hooked foul once again. That one bounces off the screen in front of the third base dugout. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Parsons kicks back and fires. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Parsons fired up after 2 base runners reached to start the inning. He gets Harper to ground into a double play and strikes out Castellanos to strand the lone base runner. Middle of the first, no score. Springer, Bichette, Guerrero when we return. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The countdown is on.
6 seconds to go.
For the craziest,
5 seconds,
most surprising, most unpredictable tournament in all of sports. Get ready for March Madness.
Butler sends San Diego State to its first national championship game.
Starting with Selection Sunday on March 17th. Then hear live game coverage from Westwood One. From the first 4 to the final 4. March Madness lives on Sirius XM.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Shriners Children's 500 from Phoenix Raceway.
Checker fly, baby. Yeah.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
For 55% off.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He delivers a 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you. Jays Phillies showing zeros down at TD Ballpark in Dunedin, Florida. Quick check of the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. The Leafs take on the Bruins tonight. That'll be at Scotiabank Arena. Puck drop 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That'll be on Sportsnet. After the game, don't forget, Leafs Talk with J.D. Bunkus and Sam McKee will follow on Sportsnet Plus, YouTube, and Sportsnet 590 The Fan. All right, time for our first look at Springer, Bo, and Vladdy today. Let's get you back to the action in Florida. Here's Ben at TD Ballpark.
Thank you, Show. Nick Nelson into the line for the Phillies, and the right-hander misses inside to start the bottom of the first. No score, Phillies and Blue Jays. Already the third matchup between these two teams here at TD Ballpark. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Springer way out in front of the slider there, and it's a ball and a strike. This is as good of a matchup, lineup to lineup, as we've seen in the 3 previous games between these two teams, or the 2 previous games, as Springer takes a strike there. It's 1-2. George has played 10 seasons in the majors. The 34-year-old now right fielder, longtime center fielder. The 1-2. Popped up right side in fair territory. The first baseman, Harper, onto the grass, makes a loud call and catches it with his light brown glove. 1 out. Here comes Bo Bichette, and we've talked about it a lot already, but this lineup could be pretty reminiscent of what we're going to see during the regular season. If you look 1 through 7, I think those guys are all guaranteed to be on the team. Going down to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in the 7-hole. First pitch to Bichette, low ball 1. And then you have Eduardo Escobar batting 8th, who's got a shot to make this team for sure. Peyton Henry in the 9 spot, probably one of the Buffalo catchers to start the year. The 1-0. Foul tip into the glove, 1 ball, 1 strike. But the lineup as it was originally constructed too, if you weren't with us earlier, Show had mentioned that Danny Jansen was removed from the lineup today with a fever. The 1-1. Hard hit ball to third, speared on a hop by Weston Wilson, who slings over to first, 2 down. Originally, this lineup had Danny Jansen hitting 5th, and then Kiermaier, Varsho, Kiner-Falefa, and Escobar all 1 spot further down. That was, a lineup that easily could have been a 1 through 9 that the Blue Jays would use in the regular season. 2 down, bases empty. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to the plate. Nick Nelson, the right-hander out of Panama City, Florida. A Yankee draft pick. Pitches to Guerrero, misses low, 1-0. Nelson works with Aramis Garcia behind the plate. Bryce Harper at first today. Bryson Stott's the second baseman. Trey Turner at short. And Weston Wilson at third. The 1-0. High fly ball center field. And Rojas won't even move in center. The first home run of the spring for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And it was a bomb. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with an absolute rocket over the wall in left center field. Got ahead in the count, found a pitch he liked. Nelson was trying to even it up after falling behind 1-0, and Guerrero punished him again, his first homer of the spring. It's 1-0 Blue Jays. Here's Justin Turner. First pitch is called, strike 1. Just to finish off the Phillies defense, Weston Wilson at third, Whit Merrifield in left, Johan Rojas in center, and Nick Castellanos in right. The 0-1. Called strike 2. 1-0 Blue Jays. Bases empty. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Nelson bouncing back for 2 quick strikes against Turner after giving up the home run to Vladdy. The pitch. Breaking ball misses low. Nelson into the wind, steps back and delivers. And Turner flares it to right center, backing up the second baseman Stott, spreads his arms out to make the call and makes the catch to end the inning. The Blue Jays get on the board, though. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits it 438 feet over the center field wall, and that's why the Blue Jays are up 1-0 going to the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you.
And catch all of your fantasy baseball talk on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Shriners Children's 500 from Phoenix Raceway.
Second flag, baby. Yeah.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
Blue Jays fans, fans. Your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio's Power Alley every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
I got all the confidence in the world in Joe Romano. I've known him for a long time. I know his demeanor. And I always say, when you're talking about a closer giving up a couple runs in the ninth inning, it's just so much more magnified than a starting pitcher giving up a 2-run homer.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the SXM app.
Hey, baseball fans, NBA Radio is your home for the best 24/7 hoops talk.
LeBron, 3 for the tie. It's good!
Hear nonstop talk from our experts every day and the best games every night as we get you ready for the playoffs and the quest to raise the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
After 47 years, the Denver Nuggets are finally NBA champions.
Don't miss a moment on SiriusXM NBA Radio, Channel 86, in the car and on the brand new SiriusXM app.
It's fantasy baseball season, and the only place to turn is Fantasy Sports Radio.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
Draft a winning squad with our team of experts, including former general managers Steve Phillips and Jim Bowden.
I'm all in on Hunter Brown. Yeah, I know the stuff screams domination.
Swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. That's 9 strikeouts for Hunter Brown.
Your home for fantasy baseball draft season is Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Slide step from Eisert and a swing and a miss. Beaten by a 90-mile-per-hour fastball was Podcool, 0-1. Mentioned Brendan Little earlier as a left-handed option for the Blue Jays out of the pen. Eisert's pretty interesting, too. He missed outside with the slider, 1-1. Eisert's been effective for the Blue Jays over the last couple years, pitching out of the pen at the minor league level. 1-1 pitch is popped up, foul territory, first base side, into the seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Eisert really impressed in his age 24 season, 2022. 45 appearances, a 3.41 ERA, and 60 innings pitched. A strikeout to walk ratio of more than 5-1. The 1-2 fouled back into the netting. Repeated the level last year and was still very strong for the Blue Jays. They pushed him to 59 appearances, 69 innings pitched. The walks ticked up a little bit. He was more of a 3-1 strikeout to walk guy. Had an ERA of 4.17. Next pitch by the lefty is bounced foul, left side, and it's still 1-2. Eisert turning 26 in January. About to enter his 4th season in the Blue Jays organization. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Podcool chased a back foot slider. There's the first out here in the top of the 9th inning. Blue Jays only need 2 more to secure the win. 5-2 Toronto, runner on first. Cal Stevenson coming up. Back to Eisert. He was a 3-year guy at Oregon State University with the Beavers. And in his time with Oregon State, posted a 2.61 ERA across 62 appearances. Gets a swing and a miss from the left-handed hitter Stevenson. It's 0-1. Infield behind Eisert, playing at double play depth, trying to end the game on a ground ball. The 0-1. Ugly wave and a miss. Stevenson was trying to hold up the whole way, and just a slow motion swing on the slider to go down 0-2. Eisert working with great pace back in the set. His 0-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle, picked up at second by Martinez, flipped to second for 1, but there will be no play over at first. Martinez had to range a long way on the backhand side and had a nifty little flip with his right arm tucking under the left on the glove side, tossed it over to second base. Arelis Martinez transitioning over to the right side to the infield late last season in the minor league year, and is starting to look a little bit more comfortable as the spring goes on, and he continues to get reps here at second. So 2 down now, Phillies down to their final out. Rodolfo Castro up, the pitch. Called strike 1, a fastball on the inner edge. Castro didn't like it, and I don't blame him. That was kind of a beat the traffic call right there, as that one looked pretty far inside. Eisert staring at first. The next pitch is high, ball 1. To go back to his Oregon State career, Eisert was a guy who would close games at times for the Beavers, first 2 years, 9 saves total. Then actually ended up starting some games for the Beavers at the end of the 2019 season. 1-1 is bounced foul, 1-2, and the Phillies have one more strike to work with here. Eisert dominated as a starter, ended up going 8-2 in 14 games, 7 starts in 2019 with an ERA a hair over 2. His 1-2 pitch is off the handle, foul into the seats. One more souvenir distributed here as Eisert tries to find a way to finish off this ball game. No hold on the runner at first, infield back. With 2 outs, the 1-2 pitch again. Called strike 3, fastball at the knees to end the game. Blue Jays win 5-2. Eisert picks up the save, and it's the 3rd win of the spring for Toronto. On a day where the Blue Jays marched out one of their more loaded lineups against a pre-pitch to Major League regular season lineup for the Phillies, too. It was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette who did the most damage. They each drove in a pair. Vladdy hit a near 440-foot home run, and the Blue Jays high-fiving out in the middle of the diamond right now after they secure the win. Toronto improves to 3-7. Philadelphia to 4.